The economic revolution in your pocket, how supporting black businesses can transform communities. Welcome to a conversation that could change the way you think about your wallet, your community, and your power to shape the future. I'm here today to share some truly eye-opening insights from an extraordinary individual who's not just talking about change, but actively creating it. I recently had the privilege of sitting down with Demetria Green, a visionary leader who's redefining what it means to support local economies. Demetria isn't just a successful entrepreneur, she's a community architect, building bridges between businesses and fostering an ecosystem of mutual support that's transforming lives. Her work has touched thousands, from small business owners finding their footing to large corporations rethinking their role in community development. Demetria's impact ripples far beyond the boardroom. She's igniting a movement that could reshape the economic landscape of our nation. Now, let me ask you a question that might make you squirm a little in your seat. When was the last time you consciously chose to support a black-owned business? If you're struggling to remember, don't worry. You're not alone. But by the end of our time together, I hope you'll not only have an answer to that question, but also a burning desire to make it a regular part of your life. You see, we're about to embark on a journey that will challenge your perceptions, ignite your imagination, and hopefully inspire you to become an active participant in what I like to call the economic revolution in your pocket. It's a revolution that starts with where you choose to spend your hard-earned dollars, but it ends with transformed communities, closed wealth gaps, and a more equitable society for all. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Another talk about supporting black businesses. Haven't we heard this before? Well, buckle up, because what I'm about to share isn't just a rehash of old ideas. It's a fresh, actionable approach that could quite literally change the economic trajectory of our communities. Let's start with a statistic that never fails to leave me slack-jawed, no matter how many times I hear it. Did you know that a dollar circulates in Asian communities for a month, in Jewish communities for 20 days, in white communities for 17 days, but in black communities for only 6 hours? Yes, you heard that right, 6 hours. Now let that sink in for a moment. Oh, imagine if your paycheck vanished after just 6 hours. That's essentially what's happening in black communities across America. It's a financial hemorrhage that's been bleeding our neighborhoods dry for generations. But here's the kicker. We have the power to stop it. And it starts with understanding the transformative impact of where we choose to spend our money. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine a vibrant street in your city. The sidewalks are bustling with people, shops are thriving, there's a palpable energy in the air. Now imagine that every single business on that street is black owned, from the coffee shop on the corner to the tech startup in the high rise, from the boutique hotel to the organic grocery store. Can you see it? That vision isn't just a dream, it's a possibility, and it's closer than you might think. But to get there, we need to shift our mindset and our habits. We need to understand that supporting black-owned businesses isn't just a nice thing to do. It's an economic imperative. Let's break this down into 3 key points that Demetria emphasized in our conversation. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical, actionable strategies that each of us can implement starting today. First, supporting black-owned businesses strengthens local economies and helps close the racial wealth gap. Now, I know strengthening local economies might sound like something only politicians and economists need to worry about. But let me tell you, it's as personal as the coffee you buy on your way to work or the restaurant you choose for date night. Here's a story that brings this point home. There's a directory called the Official Black Wall Street that helps people find and support black-owned businesses. A few months ago, a small black-owned bookstore in Chicago was on the verge of closing its doors. They've been a community fixture for years, but rising rents and competition from online retailers had pushed them to the brink. Then something remarkable happened. A local influencer shared their listing from the Official Black Wall Street on social media. Within days, the store was flooded with customers. People were driving from hours away to buy books and show their support. In just one weekend, they made enough to cover their rent for the next 3 months. But it didn't stop there. The influx of customers allowed them to hire 2 new employees from the neighborhood. They started hosting community events, becoming a hub for local authors and artists, and the ripple effect continued. Other businesses on the street saw increased foot traffic. A year later, that entire block is thriving. That's the power of intentional spending. It's not just about a transaction, it's about transformation. Every dollar you spend at a Black owned business is an investment in job creation, in community development, in closing the racial wealth gap. Now, let's talk about the second key point. Investing in Black owned startups and companies can help break the cycle of debt many Black business owners face. And before you start thinking, well, I'm not Warren Buffett, let me stop you right there. You don't need to be a millionaire to be an investor. Have you heard of micro investing? Platforms like Kiva allow you to invest as little as $25 in a business. It might not sound like much, but when hundreds or thousands of people do this, it adds up to significant capital that can help a business get off the ground or expand. Let me share a story that illustrates the power of this approach. There was a Black owned tech startup in Atlanta that had developed an innovative app for mental health support. They had a great product, but they were struggling to secure funding. Traditional investors were skeptical, and the founders didn't have the personal networks to tap into for capital. That's when they turned to a community based micro investing platform. They set a goal to raise $50,000 in 30 days. What happened next was nothing short of miraculous. Word spread through social media, and soon people from all over the country were investing $25, $50, $100 at a time. By the end of the month, they had raised not $50,000, but $75,000. This capital allowed them to launch their app, hire a small team, and start marketing. Today, just 18 months later, that app has over 100,000 users and has created 15 full-time jobs in their community. And here's the kicker. Many of those early micro investors are now seeing returns on their investment. This story isn't unique. It's happening all over the country. People are realizing that they don't need to wait for big institutions to invest in their communities. They can do it themselves, $25 at a time. But supporting Black owned businesses isn't just about money. And this brings us to our third key point. Building relationships with Black owned businesses and promoting them can significantly help their growth. This is where things get really exciting because it's an area where every single one of us can make a difference, regardless of our financial situation. Imagine you're a Black business owner. You've got a great product or service, but you're struggling to get the word out. You don't have the big marketing budgets of your competitors, and you're finding it hard to break into established networks. Now, imagine if members of your community started actively promoting your business. They invite you to community events, feature you in local media, offer mentorship and resources. Suddenly, doors start opening, your visibility increases. You start making connections that lead to new opportunities. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. It's happening right now in communities across the country. Let me tell you about a group of Black professionals in Detroit who started a monthly meetup where they would introduce local Black-owned businesses to their network. They called it Detroit's Own. At first, it was just a small gathering in a local coffee shop. But word spread quickly. Soon, they were hosting events with hundreds of attendees. They created a platform where Black business owners could showcase their products and services, network with potential customers and partners, and even pitch to investors. One of the businesses featured at these events was a small catering company run by a single mother. She had been struggling to expand beyond friends and family events. After presenting at Detroit's Own, she secured contracts with 3 major corporations in the city. Within a year, she had tripled her revenue and hired 4 full-time employees. But the impact went beyond just that one business. The Detroit's Own events became a catalyst for collaboration. Business owners who met at these events started partnering on projects. They shared resources, offered each other advice, and even invested in each other's businesses. It created an ecosystem of mutual support that has helped dozens of Black-owned businesses thrive. This story illustrates a crucial point. Supporting Black-owned businesses isn't just about transactions. It's about relationships. It's about creating networks of support that can lift entire communities. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, but isn't this just reverse discrimination? Shouldn't we support all businesses equally? And to that, I say supporting Black-owned businesses isn't about excluding others. It's about addressing a historical imbalance. It's about recognizing that for generations, systemic barriers have made it harder for Black entrepreneurs to succeed and taking active steps to level the playing field.
Think of it like this. If you have a garden where one section has been in the shade for years while the rest has had plenty of sunlight, you don't water all sections equally and expect the shaded area to catch up. You give extra attention and resources to the area that's been deprived. That's what we're talking about here, giving extra support to a sector of our economy that has been historically underserved and overlooked. But here's the beautiful thing. When we lift up black owned businesses, everyone benefits. Strong local businesses create jobs, pay taxes, and contribute to the overall health of the economy. They bring unique products and services to the market. They inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. In short, when black businesses thrive, we all thrive. So, where do we go from here? How do we take these insights and turn them into action? Well, I have a challenge for you. Actually, three challenges. First, commit to finding and supporting at least one new black owned business in the next week. It could be as simple as buying your morning coffee from a black owned cafe instead of a big chain, or using a black owned accounting firm for your taxes, or hiring a black owned marketing agency for your business needs. Whatever it is, make a conscious choice to redirect some of your spending to a black owned business. Second, look into micro investing opportunities in black owned startups. Even if it's just $25, it's a start. Platforms like Kiva make it easy to find and invest in promising black owned businesses. Who knows that $25 could be the start of your journey as an impact investor. And finally, think about how you can use your skills, your network, or your platform to promote and support black owned businesses. Can you feature a black owned business on your social media? Can you introduce a black entrepreneur to your professional network? Can you offer mentorship to a black business owner in your field? Remember, this isn't just about making a purchase or an investment. It's about changing the way we think about community support. It's about recognizing that we all have a role to play in creating a more equitable and prosperous future for everyone. As we wrap up, I want you to imagine a future where that dollar circulates in black communities, not for 6 hours, but for 6 days, 6 weeks, or even 6 months. Imagine the transformation that could bring to our neighborhoods, our cities, our country. Now, here's the exciting part. That future isn't some far off dream. It's a possibility that's within our grasp. And you, yes, you have the power to help make it a reality. Every dollar you spend, every investment you make, every connection you foster is a step towards that future. So I leave you with this question. What will you do differently after today? How will you contribute to the economic empowerment of black communities? The power is in your hands. The time to act is now. Together, we can create a rising tide that lifts all boats. We can transform our communities, close the racial wealth gap, and create a legacy of prosperity for generations to come. This is more than just supporting businesses. It's about rewriting the economic narrative of our communities. So let's start this revolution. Let's make every dollar count. Let's build a future where success knows no color, where opportunity is truly equal, and where our communities thrive not in isolation, but in beautiful, powerful collaboration. The revolution is in your pocket. The question is, are you ready to join it? Thank you.